Predicting the future of our climate is now one of the most important challenges faced by science. The more accurate our picture of how our world will change, the better we can make decisions about what we should do. Well, last year the BBC, along with a team of scientists, launched what is the world's biggest climate predicting project.
British scientists are running the world's most advanced programme for forecasting climate change.
Its aim to use the combined power of thousands of personal computers to produce an accurate model of our future climate. Anyone, young or old, could take part and get meaningful results.
Computer models help to reveal how much the world is warming and how weather...
Altogether, 56,000 people from around the world contributed. The experiment was masterminded by scientists at Oxford University. To get accurate predictions, they needed to run the programme as many times as possible. What would have taken the world's fastest supercomputers 100 years has been achieved in just a few months.
It was hugely exciting to see the first results come out and to see that they were looking accurate and very useful scientifically.
No one knew what these models would predict until the experiment was carried out. But after thousands of successful runs, there's no doubt that the trend for average temperature is upward.
Using these results, we're going to look ahead to 3 different years this century. The first is 2020, just 13 years away. By then, the prediction is an average temperature rise in the UK of over 1 degree since the 1970s.
A 1 degree increase might seem quite small, but because weather systems are so complex, while it may be impossible for humans to reverse global warming by 2020, that's not necessarily the case for 2050. Scientists believe that with the right measures in place now, it should be possible to lessen the impact of the climate change that Britain experiences in around 40 years' time.
However, as there remains worldwide reluctance to act, in this experiment, the assumption was that our dependence on fossil fuels will continue to steadily rise until 2050. And here, the results show a very significant rise in UK temperatures of around 2.5 degrees.
This time, we add on the effects of our experiment to push it ahead towards 2050. And you can see a very marked change in that temperature map. The deep shades of red indicating temperatures of 30 degrees or more. And that's going to be happening across a wide area of England and Wales. Indeed, by August 2050, we are looking at something like half of the days in that month hitting 30 Celsius. A quick look ahead to winter 2050, and the story really is of less snow and more rain. There will still be some snow over the tops of the mountains, the Cairngorms in particular, but even here you will see the snow line rising quite dramatically, and I suspect by this stage a white Christmas a thing of the past.
Up until now, we've been focusing on how climate change will affect us, the human population of Britain. But what about our natural environment, the landscape and the other species that we share these islands with?
This beautiful great crested newt normally comes to ponds like this one in order to breed in the springtime. But it's plainly not spring now. In fact, it's about midwinter. The fact is that this creature, like so many, is getting out of step with its environment.
But what might happen even further into the century? Well, our experiment predicts that 2080 will see the average temperature in the UK increase by a huge 4 degrees.
Let's start again with our temperature map of the typical summer's day from 2006. This time we add on the effects of our experiment and push it ahead to 2080. Now we are factoring in that's a 4-degree average rise across the United Kingdom, and what a dramatic effect that has. In fact, during August 2080, we could well see 40 Celsius on a number of occasions. Looking ahead to a winter 2080, and it's certainly going to be a lot milder than we're used to at the moment, and with higher sea surface temperatures around the UK, it could well turn a bit more stormy, and that poses a threat to the low-lying coastal areas of eastern England in particular.
With the effects of heat, drought and disrupted weather patterns intensifying, a 4-degree rise would be potentially dangerous for Britain. The world has huge potential for generating electricity by renewable sources that don't need fossil fuels. In the UK, wind power could provide a large part of our needs, something we're just beginning to exploit. But in order to tackle a problem of this scale, a bigger global effort will be needed, and there will no doubt be a cost. According to a recent government report, however, it will be cheaper to act now than wait until later.
I'm optimistic, having done this review, that we have the time and knowledge to act, but only if we act internationally, strongly and urgently.
It's a massive political challenge, but it seems that the fate of our country and our planet depends on what today's global leaders decide over the next few years.
Climate change is surely the biggest single issue that the human race now faces. And today we stand at a unique, pivotal place in history. We now have the facts. The world is becoming more aware of the reality of climate change. And it's not yet too late to do something about it. For all of us, it's truly the time to act.
For a free Open University guide telling you more about climate change and what you can do, and to discover more about OU programmes, call 0870 942 1342 or go to our website, where you can also discover more about the results of our unique climate prediction project.
Waking the Dead next on BBC One. On BBC 4, an evening devoted to zoologist Desmond Morris, and BBC 2's at the final of the Masters Snooker.